like to go through, we've talked about the home page, we've talked about WordPress in general, talked about the bulletin, theater, radio, and gallery, which are kind of all related. Next thing I'd like to talk about is the Friend Finder, which really what this is a membership plugin that I used. I'm calling it the Friend Finder. Really, it's a membership plugin called Ultimate Member. So if you were to search for Ultimate Member, you'd see the free version comes up at the top, and then you'll see here that this ultimatemember.com thing is their website with details and to get the pro version. So first off, why did I choose this? What I was going for was I wanted to have a way that when people would register that they could search for one another based on their location and their interests, so that they could find people that they were, wanted to connect with about different subjects and different interests. There's only a handful of different plugins that let you do that. I forget the exact reason why I went with Ultimate Member. It was a while ago. But that's what I chose. And then there's a few add-ons that I've got. So if I go to plugins and I pull up Ultimate Member, you'll see first there's Ultimate Member. Then this is something that I created. Then there's the Google CAPTCHA. This just basically means when people are registering and posting things, we could have like a CAPTCHA thing, and this reduces spam because without it, you get all these fake users that are robots and they post shit and it's crazy. MailChimp is an add-on that just makes it so that when people register for the site, it adds them to the mailing list. And then Social Login lets people register using Facebook and those kinds of things. So for example, if I log out here for a second, when somebody goes to log into the site, this here is actually generated by this plugin called Ultimate Member. To give you an idea of what it looks like otherwise, this is a regular WordPress login by going to jimflanner.com/wp-admin, whatever. This is what it normally looks like. So with this plugin, you get this nice kind of login. And then if you want to go to register, the fact that people can just register from the front end of the website, you don't need like a guy like me to create you an account from the back end. That is also facilitated by this plugin, that anyone can come in here and just register an account without any database stuff or anything like that. Is really cool. So now I've got to log back into the site so that we could so one thing, like while you're logged out of the site, you'll notice that you can't access every page. So, or at least you're not supposed to be able to. So let's see. Yeah, so like if you try to go to submit content, it redirects you to the login page. I had thought I had made it so you couldn't access the Friend Finder unless you were registered. So we'll take a look at that right now. So let me log in here. And so for example, if I click on the Friend Finder and I go to edit page, once this plugin's installed, you get this new thing here, content restriction. And this is actually supposed to be on. So this should only be for logged in users. And if they're not logged in, it should redirect them to the login page. So let's update that, and hey, magically, that was quick, right? Now if somebody's not logged in, they shouldn't be able to access the Friend Finder. Yeah, makes them do this. And originally I had like all the pages on the site that way, and I kind of like that. It's a little more private. Yes, it forces people to log in to access content, which is a little bit of a hurdle. And like, yeah, I guess there's like, maybe it's manipulative, but if they log in, then they get, their email gets added to the list, so we can email announcements to them and try to like engage with them more. What was really the breaking point of why I didn't was And this I kind of wish that I had kept it because we had a lot more people register for the site when we required them to register to access things. But the reason what happened is so let's say that somebody goes to share a video or any content. So like if I go here and I hit to share this, what was happening was, see, because this page is public, it can pull in all this information here. You can get the title and description and all that. The problem is that if this is only accessible to members, then if I go and I share this page on social media and someone clicks it, it doesn't let them go right to it. It doesn't pull in the data because it's a private page. And yeah. And look at this. This title is what's that all about? Sudbury students. I don't know why it's like that. So, sorry, I'm fixing this thing. So that's one also advantage of having like this plugin, and that might, it helps you restrict content only to members. Now, to get into this thing a little bit deeper, I go over here to Ultimate Member, and you can see there's a lot of stuff that comes along with this plugin. So here you can see how many people are registered. There's actually a bunch more. So one of the issues that we had was originally the site was just the chat, and we had a bunch of people log in and register, create accounts. And then, so down here actually you could see the number of people that are actually registered, because there's a bunch that registered for the chat that never registered the other one. We can kind of see like what people are using to register and sign up. That's sort of useful. But settings and forms and user roles, this stuff's important. So you have to tell it what page. So I'm going to also open up pages. So there's a couple things that go on here. One is, so let's go to the friend finder, for example. Find a friend. So in order to insert that search, see like this search over here, in order to insert this uses a shortcode. So I drop this code, and all of the form related stuff drops itself into the page, right? Super easy, super nice. But then we have to tell it what page is, so that it, sorry, that would be the members page, right? We have to tell it which page that is. There's also I think probably a page for user profile. Account editor, so there's a shortcode for that. Short code for that. The login and logout pages, wherever those are in here. So login page, right? So there's two things. One is I have to put the shortcode in there, which you could see here's the shortcode for the login. And that generates the login stuff, but again, you also have to tell it which page is the login page. Because think of it, you got like two different things going in. The shortcode just generates the stuff. Telling Ultimate Member which page it's located on is also important because, for example, let's say someone tries to access a page and we say, hey, if they try to go to restricted content, redirect them to the login page. And then it would say, oh, what page is the login page? So you would set that up here. Similarly, we've got the register page, logout, account editor, all these kinds of things. They all have to have their own page. So that one was important. Access. This one says like globally, the site should be accessible to everyone. Again, there was a time when I had this set so it was only accessible to people that were logged in, and then I blocked off these pages to the public so that people could access those in general. And then I switched it because, I don't know, I want more people to be able to see and learn about, like on schooling and stuff. Even if they don't want to join the community, they should still be able to see and learn about it, right? Appearance, let's see what kind of stuff here. So Not all these. So like, there's a bunch of email notifications that go out when people, if you join, when you activate your account, that kind of stuff. They go to the member, and then some things go to me. So like, I just get a notification if someone deletes their account. And actually, I want to set it up, for example, so that when someone deletes their account, I want it to send them to a survey asking them why they deleted it. That's actually something I'd like to do. I'd like to set the site up so that everyone has to register. And then when they delete their account, it asks them why they deleted it. And then we could figure out, like, what are we doing wrong? What more could we offer people? So this talks about the user profiles. So for example, if you click on my name, you come to my profile page. And again, if I hit edit page, you'll see this is a short code, right? So this is one short code. And then what it does is the user page has the short code. And then depending on what's here, it knows what profile to load up. And under settings, you could see, what's the maximum width? You don't have to set these all up. They come default. It'll say like, there's some settings. Nothing super, super important here. Default image before they include their stuff. Cover photos, showing links. I don't know. Not everything here did I go in and really like customize. But some of these things I kind of customized. For example, one thing I definitely customized, which I had to do manually, look at me showing off, was if you click on somebody like me, so see like these things here? So the About is the default tab that comes up here. And I will show you, we'll start with that. So these buttons I also want to talk about, but what fields are available? So for that, I went over to Forms, and you've got different registrations. So let's say, registration just means to join. I want the profile. So if I come here, you can see this is where I chose all this information. So like name, pronouns, country, state, and like, so I guess country is a drop-down menu. So if I hit pencil, and they get to choose from all the countries of the world, whereas like state, province is a text box. And where did I choose text box? That's a good question. I think when I created the field. So like, let's say you wanted to add a new field. So I hit plus. It'll say, what kind of field do you want to add? And so you could say, oh, I'd like to add a text area or a text box, right? So there's all these possibilities of things that you could add. Loads of them. And I'm totally open ideas of things that you might want to put in a profile. One thing that I really wish we had differently was interests, right? So right now the interests is this. It's a list. And like the whole point of this is that people can find other people that share an interest, okay? So ideally it would be like a website like meetup.com or something, so that, like, let me go here. So if I want to edit my page, this is something that's a little frustrating. See, interest, it's like a long list of texts, bananas, soccer, shorts, right? And so that's not like awesome that it's a long list of text. It'd be great if these were more like tags, so like like if I'm interested in bananas, like all of a sudden it would start to generate the word. And the reason that's important is like, here's a good example, skateboarding. So if I type in scat, which, let's say ska, right? It'd be nice if the tag showed up, because what happens if somebody writes skateboarding and then somebody writes skating, right? These people should be able to like find each other, but because it's just a pure text thing, the kid who wrote skating versus skateboarding, they might not be able to find each other easier. So it'd be greater if this was some kind of tagging system. The problem with the tagging system is, one way that you could do it with Ultimate Member is to have the tags, because I did that once. So I had a, what was it? It would have been multi-select, I think, where you could select a bunch of things. And then I had to pre-list all the interests. So, I listed like 100 interests, and then you could check which ones you like. Well, that kind of sucks too, because, like, I can't think of every interest that's out there, right? And so the idea here is supposed to be that if somebody comes in here and they search, they type in, like, what if I'm interested in, skating? And I type that in. Oh, look, like, nobody. I've got to go, oh, what about skateboarding? Right? So I wish there was and 4 people, right? I went from thinking, oh my God, I'm the only one that likes skating, to like 4 people are into it. One of them's me. So I wish there was a little bit better way to do that. But, right now for what we've got, this is pretty cool. And so that's kind of how this is created. I guess this is an alright time. So like this thing over here, I'll just talk about this right now. So like these social media sharing buttons, these have nothing to do with, well, they're on this page, fine. So you'll see these pop up in a lot of different places. These were set up using a plugin called Add to Any share buttons. So then if I go to settings, add to any, you can see that, it says, oh, like which ones do you want to have on your site? You have a zillion to choose from. I just kind of picked these. I still think we could probably use less. It'd be better to use less. I just am indecisive and I can't choose which ones. And then you can have them automatically show up in certain places. So like I have them automatically show up at the bottom of posts, which is like the discussion, blog, bulletin things, and also templates, videos, audios, images, right? So they show up automatically. And then in this place, I manually put it in with a short code. So like I'll kind of walk you through. So you have the main content is over here on the right, and then this is a sidebar. So to figure out what sidebar we've got, I come over here and I look, oh, sidebar. Right-hand sidebar is the Find a Friend sidebar. Okay, and then you say, well, what's going to go inside the Find a Friend sidebar? Well, widgets. So I go over to widgets, and I go to Find a Friend sidebar somewhere. Oh, custom sidebar, Find a Friend sidebar. And there's text that says invite your friends using any of these tools. And then there's a widget for the share buttons. So I used a widget, dragged it in wherever it is, add to any share, and dropped it in. Just as a reference without getting like too freaking off track. This thing here, I think, is a shortcode. Because I think you can also use a shortcode or a widget to drop those in. No, so this is a widget too. You can use a shortcode if you just want to insert them anywhere. But back to the topic at hand, which is these forms. Something that was quite a pain, which is custom, is to create the button for video, radio, image, and email. Sorry, direct message. So the About page, this I built using the plugin. This automatically comes in posts where it lists, people's posts that they've listed on the site. But this thing here, where videos are a custom post type. So I had to create code that would automatically list all the videos somebody's posted on the site and automatically list all of the audio tracks they've posted and then all of the images that they've posted. Yeah, you can see, like, I don't know why these got deleted. I'm investigating why some of these images have been deleted. It's not good. And then here, this thing, the fact that clicking this takes you to send somebody a direct message, that I also had to do custom. So I could get into a teeny bit of how that was done custom-wise. And you can see here I'm having a conversation with myself. Send Flim January a message. You are Flim January. Okay. So the way that I did that is So inside the child theme, I've got a folder called Ultimate Member. I gave it the same folder name as the plugin is called. It's almost like making a child plugin, right? So you have Ultimate Member here, right? But I also have Ultimate Member CPT, which is custom post type. So I created this with just one file. This is an extension. I called it the Ultimate Member Custom Post Type Extension by JF WebDev. That's me. And what this does is I emailed a little bit, I think, with the support team to figure out how to add those other tabs. And that's what these do. So this adds another tab for videos with an icon. And then this says, okay, what shows up if someone clicks the button? So this just adds the button, and then this says what shows up if they click it. And then I got one for audio, I got one for images. That was a pain, you know, but I wanted it to be there, so I did it, and now it's there. The other thing is I did something else, right? Oh yeah, in themes. And WP Edit Child, Ultimate Member, Templates, Profile. What the hell did I do? Okay, so I guess I had to do something else here to generate. So it looks like this also generates the code. So I forget what the difference is between these things. I don't want to get too sidetracked. Maybe the first thing I showed you just created the button. Jesus, all that just for a fucking button? Ugh. And then this code actually looks like it's looping. Yeah, this is a loop. This is showing all of the content. So this is like all the content for the audios. So my guess is that other thing that I just showed you a minute ago points to this and says, hey, the template is in audio single. Just to not leave you hanging, let's check it out. So if I go to plugins, CPT, and I open that up. So this looks like it's just the button. Okay. This is so stupid. Okay. So this code adds the button, and then here it says we are going to show, you know, a list of posts, the 10 most recent posts, and if you're wondering how are we going to display them, oh, you're going to have to go look at the template for how to display them. So it basically says, oh, show the 10 most recent posts. Oh, what layout is it going to have? Is it going to have a pencil, title, date? Oh, for that, you're going to have to look at the template here. That's kind of silly, but again, you know, like the benefit of a plugin is you get to buy a bunch of code that somebody else made. The downside is when you want to make customizations, you've got to like adapt them to their plugin. It looks like there's also something I did with emails that I don't even remember now. Ultimate Member email. So I don't think that I changed all of the emails that get sent. So this might even be an error that this folder is here. I'm thinking it is. Let me just open one of these up to see, because I don't see any. Yeah, I don't. So I'm just noticing that this one was modified on February 26th, whereas all the other ones were not modified. So maybe this is when I set it up to email me, to tell me. So I'm going to get rid of all these except for that one. yeah, I mean, I don't know why. Let's go over to the parent. Plugins, Ultimate Member, email, notification, deletion. So that deletion email. So this goes to the user. I don't know. I hope I didn't just fuck something up live on camera. But I think it'll be alright. Yeah, so those are some little changes I made through Ultimate Member to create that stuff. You know, it took a while to figure out how to create that button. And that actually sucks. So that's something I'll point out. I never actually figured out how to get, like using the child theme, which is the appropriate way. I never figured out how to get this button to appear using the child theme. I ended up having to hard code this into the original plugin, which is not the right way to do this. So what happens is whenever the plugin updates, I have to go in and manually change this to get this button to come back. And I just never figured it out, and it was like a time constraint, and I just, so it sucks that to get this button here, I could show you where too, right? Let me think. Yeah, let me see if I can find the file. Okay, so this is a thing I created for like customizations, to kind of figure out what I did and where I did it when I did custom stuff. And there's going to be a lot more about this when you watch the video about Rocket Chat. But I'll at least find the thing in here. So yeah, this is when I added the button to the profile page, enabling a link. So this is umactionsprofile.php. So I think I have more details about this. So organized, right? Ultimate Member mod. Yeah, so this is pretty detailed. And here you go. In Ultimate Member 2.05, go to line 1412, insert this between these two lines. Like, this is not the way shit's supposed to be done. You should use a child theme or modify it or extend the plugin. You should not have to go in to the original plugin and add this piece of code every time the plugin updates. But just so you kind of get a sense of it, so this is where the file is located, Ultimate Member / includes / core / umactions-profile. So we go in here and then look for line 1412. So line 1412 is here. So this is the break, and this is what I inserted. See, it says after PHP, put your code in, and then after that would be, so basically saying between here and here, insert this piece of code, which has the link pointing people to, this is tricky to get this thing working. But it works now. And when the new version of the plugin comes out, it'll have to be changed a teeny bit, but so what happens, I mean, when the new version of the plugin comes out, it's not that much different, but what happens is this file gets overwritten, and then I have to come into umactions profile, and I have to figure out, oh, like, where do I insert it? Where does this thing go? So what I'll usually do is I'll come into this page, and I'll search for this line of code. I'll go Control F, I'll look for this. And it shows up a few times in here. I don't know how many, 4 times. So there's 4 places that this line shows up. And so I kind of have to try to remember what the old thing looked like and see if it's the right location. It's not ideal. But that's the user registration, and yeah, I think that's good for this video.